What kind of colony did Oglethorpe want Georgia to be?
He wanted it to be a free colony without slavery. He wanted a refuge for poor people and a refuge for different religions.
Why was slavery finally allowed in Georgia?
Parliament made it hard for poor people to leave jail and move to Georgia. Rice turned out to be the only crop that could be grown in Georgia and sold for profit. Lots of workers were needed to grow rice.
Where did the Mayflower set sail for, and where did it land instead?
The Mayflower headed for Virginia, but instead it landed on Cape Cod in Massachusetts.
What is a pilgrim?
A pilgrim is a person who travels for religious reasons.
Why were the Pilgrims called separatists in England?
They wanted to separate from the Church of England.
Why didn't separatists stay in the Netherlands, where they were safe from the English king?
In the Netherlands life was hard, and they had to work hard for very little money. They did not want their kids to speak Dutch and forget English. There was plenty of land in America.
How did Squanto help the Pilgrims?
Squanto helped the Pilgrims by telling them where to fish, which nuts and berries were safe to eat, how to fertilize crops with fish, and how to trade with other Indians.
Who was William Bradford?
William Bradford was the new governor of Plymouth Colony for 35 years, and was the historian of the colony.
For what did the Pilgrims give thanks at their Thanksgiving feast?
The Pilgrims were thankful for a place to worship God in their own way, their Indian friends, plentiful crops. If they were careful, no one would go hungry during the next winter.
What did the Puritans believe their mission was?
Be an example of how Christians should live. To do justly. To love mercy. To walk humbly with God.
What was the Great Migration?
When 25,000 Puritans moved to the Massachusetts Bay Colony during 1630 to 1660.
What workers were needed to build a ship in New England?
Woodcutters chopped down the trees. Carpenters built the wooden parts. Blacksmiths made anchors. Coopers made barrels to hold cargo, food, and water.
How were Puritans' boys and girls educated differently?
Boys and girls went to school together for 2 years. Then boys continued going to school, and girls stayed home and learned how to cook, sew, and weave.
What did Puritans do on Sundays?
Puritans were not supposed to do anything on Sundays, except go to the meeting house to worship God.
Why did the Puritans think God wanted them to come to New England?
To be an example for everyone in the world to follow. The Church of England was too fancy with its stained glass windows, organ music, and fancy robes. They thought that the simple way is the only way to God.
Why did the King of England give the Puritans a charter to start their own colony in New England?
The King of England gave the Puritans Massachusetts Bay Company a charter because he thought they were troublemakers. Many of them had been jailed for trying to change the Church of England.
Why did the Puritan leaders become angry with Roger Williams?
Roger Williams thought the Puritans of Massachusetts Bay should leave the Church of England. He spoke out against making everyone pay for Puritan congregations. He spoke out against taking Indian land.
What was the first town that Roger Williams and his followers started?
Providence, Rhode Island was the first town that Roger Williams and his followers started.
How did Roger Williams and the Indians show they liked one another?
Roger Williams stood up for the Indians and the Indians trusted him.